Okay. Let me make sure. Actually. Have magic cards to open. Magic cards that I won in combat playing on Arena. Doing a sealed pool. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, I should grab a trash can. Okay. Shiny ass box. All right, let's get to it. These are. This is Richard Garfield's hero. Robot Warrior. Oh, I wonder how these are collated. We got Foil, Balthier, and Fran. Got a Lab Maniac. Foil Transpose. 3 mana instant, draw a card, then discard a card. You lose 1 life. If this spell was cast from your hand, create an 0/1 Black Wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell. This token deals 1 damage to each opponent, and it has Rebound. This is one of the commander cards. Champions from Beyond, another commander card. X and 2 white for an enchantment. The Final Fantasy XIV. Whenever this enchantment enters, create X 1/1 colorless hero creature tokens. Light Party. Whenever you attack with 4 or more creatures, scry 2, then draw a card. And Full Party. Whenever you attack with 8 or more creatures, those creatures get +4/+4 until end of turn. Full art. Matoya Archon Elder. Whenever you scry or surveil, draw a card. 1/4. Though you know it's rude to enter without knocking. The youth of today. Another Final Fantasy XIV. The Wandering Minstrel. 1/3 human bard. Lands you control enter untapped. The Minstrel's Ballad. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, if you control 5 or more towns, create a 2/2 elemental creature token that's all colors. And you can pay 3 plus Wooburg, so 8 mana. And other creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of towns you control. It did. If you can hear that, I'll go turn it off. Boop boop. Should be better now. We've got Foil Swamp from Final Fantasy V. Got a 16 card, Clash of the Icons. 1 green mana. Choose one or more. Target creature you control fights target creature an opponent controls. Remove a lore counter from target saga you control, or put a lore counter on a saga you control. Grahatia, 5 mana. Cat Archer. X Death Void Warlock. When X Death enters, you gain 3 life in the beginning of your end step. If there are 6 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, you transform X Death into Neo X Death Dimensions End. A star 3 spirit avatar with trample, and its power is equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. All memories, dimensions, existence, all that is shall be returned to nothing. Actually, I should separate these piles into, well, okay, so these are foils that I'm not worried about super hard, and these are foils that are probably going to curl. Double face cards I'm less worried about. They're foiled on both sides. And we've got Ignis. Scientia. It's too many words for an uncommon. That's not very good. If I'm being real. We've got foil Overkill. A hilarious target creature gets -0, -9999 until end of turn. Foil Lunatic Pandora. Oh, these are correlated backwards. Okay. So all the spicy stuff was up front. We got Ice Magic and Aerith Rescue Mission in the back. So what were the rares? Minstrel, Transpose. Those are all the uncommons. Matoya, Champion. I think that's an uncommon. Balthier and Fran. It's like the fancy foiling. I'm going to go backwards. Get Namazu Trader. Chocobo Kick. Ice Fawn. Queen Brun. Ilmig Pixie. Reach the Horizon. Fifth 7 crowd. Now we got Ultimacia. Timeless Sorceress. When Ultimacia enters or attacks, you surveil 2. It's a 5 mana, 4/5 Warlock. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 8 mana, 4 colorless, or 4 generic, 2 blue, 2 black, and exile 8 cards from your graveyard if you transform Ultimacia into Ultimacia Omnipotent. 7/7 with Menace. And when this creature transforms, take an extra turn. Time. It will not wait, no matter how hard you hold on. It escapes you. I think the card I want the most is just Cloud. Basic ass. Any version of Cloud. 2 mana Cloud. That's Stoneforge Mystic. Eden, Seat of the Sanctum. And a VV would also be sick. You got Foil Wastes. Clive and Torkoal. We got Rabuhan Bulavalamigo. 2 mana for a 2/2 human warrior with ward pay life equal to Rabuhan's power. And when Rabuhan attacks, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to target attacking creature. Gilgamesh. Master at Arms. Enters or attacks. You look at the top 6 cards. You put any number of equipment onto the battlefield, and you put the rest on the bottom. You put one or more equipment onto the battlefield this way. You may attach one of them to a samurai you control, and he is a samurai. Enstein Villano. Oh, also the Atraxa Sephiroth is the other one that I'm like, I would really like. 4 mana Elf Warrior. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Einstein Valnera against flying until end of turn. At the beginning of your second main phase, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of your opponents who are dealt combat damage by Einstein Valnu or a dragon this turn. Got Celis, Rune Knight. When she enters, you discard any number of cards and draw that many cards +1. And whenever one or more creatures you control enter, if one or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Kefka Palazzo, which is Perforos, God of the Forge. 4 mana, indestructible, legendary enchantment creature, god. With indestructible, as long as your devotion to red is less than 5, it isn't a creature. And whenever another creature you control enters, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. And you can pay 2 generic and 1 red, and creatures you control get +1 attack. Which is a pretty bad rate for fire breathing, but, you know, it's just a little bonus. And now we've got Memories Returning. 4 mana, sorcery. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, then choose an opponent. They put one on the bottom of your library, then you put one into your hand, then they put one onto the bottom of your library, put the other into your hand. I think that one won't curl as bad, but not sure. This one? I mean, these definitely look better in way better in paper than they do online, I would say. Or do you mean this one? in both cases, I say they're way more readable as paper cards than they are on a monitor. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Kefka. Yeah, it's still kind of weird, I guess, but I I just think they're much. What's readable on a monitor is there's less give there. I think. And I think some of these more complicated Magic designs are not kind. Do not do kindly on a monitor. All right, we should go backwards. Got Cloudbound Moogle. Combat Tutorial. Trino. Poison the Waters. Summon Primal Garuda. Renoa Heartily. With her goddamn dog. Human Rebel Warlock. Got Omega Heartless Evolution. 7 mana, 8/8. When it enters, for each opponent, tap up to one target non-land permanent that opponent controls. Put X stun counters on each of those permanents, and you gain X life, where X is the number of non-basics you control. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I also meant to just separate out the tokens. That should be its own pile. Now we've got Vanille. Number Vanille. Foil Number Vanille. 4 mana Human Cleric. When Vanille enters, mill 2 cards, then return a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. At the beginning of your first main phase, if you both own and control Vanille and a creature named Fang, you may pay 5 mana. If you do, exile them, then meld them into Ragnarok Divine Deliverance. Boobid Monster. I'm sure that doesn't line up. Where did I put her? For another pile. What? I misplaced those cards already. I don't know where I put them. Really? No, here they are. This was my question. Is this is different. So you'd make bad mismatched Ragnarok instead of correct Ragnarok. That's funny. You need them to match to get the correct effect. So now we need Fang in fancy number art mode. That's a dual-faced. We got another swamp. Vanat, Heart of Hydaelyn. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, draw a card. That ability triggers only once each turn, and you can tap 7, exile target non-land permanent, and then transform into The Mother Crystal, the 4/4 Indestructible, Blessing of Light. Beginning combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. Until your next turn, it gains Indestructible. That creature is legendary. Draw a card. Yeah, the Final Fantasy 14 stuff is the stuff I kind of just know the least about. Summoner Sending. 2-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile target creature from a graveyard. If you do, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, and put a +1/+1 counter off the exiled card's mana values 4 or greater. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. That's pretty good. That's not the worst. Alpha Nod. Levialure has partner with another Levialure, a 2/4 with Vigilance, and whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card. 4 mana. And some of these, like these commander cards, I haven't even looked at that. I don't even know all of them. I remember this one though, because it's 2 mana. For a 2/2 legendary creature human cleric with lifelink, and whenever another creature you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on that creature if its power is less than Jinda's power. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on Shalinda. We've got Fancy Light Up the Stage. It's very funny. This is Light Up the Stage. Which, of course, is a 3-mana sorcery that has... You can Spectacle for 1, which means if you dealt damage to your opponent or your opponent's lost life, I don't remember, you can cast it for the Spectacle cost, and then you exile the top 2 cards of your library, and until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. This Final Fantasy VIII scene. And our last card is Fancy Squall. 4 mana, 3/4, Rough Divide. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. And whenever Squall deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your battlefield. So it's like Sun Titan, but only 4 mana. And here's our knight. A hero token. Squall's pretty good. I would play that card in a deck that wanted it. Hero treasure. Always need treasure tokens. We got Commune with Beavers. Red Mage's Rapier. Grand Pulse Ochu. Summon Anima. Which is pretty powerful for a draft uncommon. Crystal's Chosen. Rita's Return. Final Fantasy 4. Now we've got a different Fancy Vanille. Borderless Vanille. You will call Summon Primal Garuda in anime form. Saga Harpy. foil mountain. And we got foil Vincent Valentine. A 2/2 4-mana legendary creature assassin. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you put a number of +1/+1 counters on Vincent Valentine equal to that creature's power. And whenever Vincent Valentine attacks, you may transform it. And he transforms into Galleon Beast, a 3/2 werewolf beast with trample and lifelink. And when it dies, you return it to the battlefield, tap, front face up. This body is the punishment that's been given to me. Famously, this card caused a lot of rules violations at the Pro Tour. Just like on camera mistakes happened, and because they recorded in advance, they were not fixed. Just people playing about this card being played with wrong. It's like way more complicated than it seems. I got Summon Materia, 3 mana, artifact equipment. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Love that. As long as this equipment is attached to a creature, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library, which has equip 2, and equipped creature also gets +2/+2 and has vigilance and tap to add a mana. It's pretty good. It's kind of in the same space as the reality chip, although it's not a creature itself. We've got Zodiark, the Umbral God. 5 black mana for a 5/5 legendary creature god with indestructible. And when it enters, each player sacrifices half the non-god creatures they control of their choice, rounded down. And whenever a player sacrifices another creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. This card's fucking crazy. It's a fun all in on black. Yo, we got not the cloud we're looking for, but it's a cloud. I'll take it. I got bad cloud. Clouds. I think the worst of the 3 clouds. I think there are 3. I might be forgetting one. 5 mana for a 4/4 legendary creature, human soldier mercenary. During your turn, as long as cloud is equipped, it has double strike and indestructible, and equip costs you activate. The target cloud costs 2 less to activate. It's not like bad. It's just it's 5 mana. You know? Doesn't have haste. We got 2 more in this pack. My fucking favorite is Barnabas Tharmer. Who is Kron Ludwig's opus in functionality. It's a legendary creature, zombie horror, a 4/4 with flying and haste, and whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card, and it has partner. Meaning you can be your commander alongside something else with partner. Odin looks fucking sick in the back there. And then we have Jumbo Cactuar, 7 mana, plant, set 1/7 with 10,000 needles. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets +9/9/9 attack, +0 until end of turn. I've killed people with this in draft by casting a spell that gives it trample. Or sealed. No, I did it in sealed. I didn't do it in draft, I don't think. So that's fun. You just attack and then they just die. Because you can't... If it has trample, but you gotta give it trample. or fling it. If you use thud, that's also the Timmy Dream. It's so many numbers. It's the opposite of overkill. Let's see our token. Got a wizard bird token. Got the bird token. The chocobo tokens are so good in this set. And limited. They're so good. Bird tokens. One Mythos box. Along with the lunar whale. We got Vincent's Limit Break. Blitzball. Marlboro. Oh, Delivery Moogle. Hell yeah. I love this card. 4 mana Moogle. 3/2 with flying. And when it enters, you get to search your library and or graveyard for an artifact card with mana value 2 or less, reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. A new letter has arrived just for you, Kupo. We got Rydia, Summoner of Mist. Red and a green for a 1/2 human shaman with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And then she has summon. You can tap X and tap it and return target saga card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. This card's also pretty sick and limited. We got foil side quest catch a fish. We did it. We did it, Reddit. I am Noctis, Prince of Lucius and King of Fishing. And then it flips to Cooking Campsite. We got Borderless Ultros, Obnoxious Octopus. We got Fancy Foil Prompto with his selfie shot ability. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana were spent to cast it, create a treasure token. Ripple Foil. Foil 7th Heaven Plains? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We got Minwu White Mage. 3/3 Human Cleric for 5 mana with Vigilance and Lifelink. And whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on each cleric you control. Reaper's Scythe. A 3 mana artifact equipment with Job Select, which means that it comes into play with a 1/1 hero token. At the beginning of your end step, put a soul counter on this equipment for each player who lost life this turn. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each soul counter on this equipment and is an assassin in addition to its other types. And it's Death Sickle, which is just equipped for 2. For each player. But not for the amount of life. We've got Yanger Augrelt, a 1/3 2 mana Elf Advisor. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you gain 2 life. Draw Arcanum. You can tap it to look at the top 2 cards of your library. You may exile it face down and play Arcanum. You can tap until end of turn. You may play cards exiled with it, and spells you cast this way cost 2 less to cast. We got Number Yuna, 5 mana, 3/5, human cleric. During your turn, Yuna and enchantment creatures you control have trample, lifelink, and ward 2. At the beginning of your end step, return up to 1 target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. I return Omniscience. We got Newfound Adventures, Farseek. Been playing with that one on Arena a lot, because that's the only printing for Farseek on Arena now. And we've got regular foil Balthier and Fran. Earlier we had fancier foil. I don't know about how those foils are going to curl or not. The shells will be over here. Those are double-sided. Yeah. Well, it's not legal in Standard. A hero token and a robot warrior from Final Fantasy VI. The mecha armor. Gungaga. The Shinra people told us that everyone would be happy once the reactor was built, but all it brought us was sadness. Airship Crash from Final Fantasy IX. Slash of Light. FF1. Snow Villers. Human Rebel Monk. Guy who needs to get stabbed. Just a very stabbable face. Here's regular Prompto in foil. This stupid selfie pose. Unexpected request. We've got Tidus. Blitzball Star. 1 generic, 1 white, 1 blue. For a 2/1 human warrior. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Tidus. Whenever Tidus attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. Character who doesn't get referred to by name in the game he's from. And then in Kingdom Hearts, they just call it, he's Tidus. Tidus, not Titus. Because it doesn't have to do with the tide. It's some other thing that it's referencing. I forget the word. Summon GF Ifrit. That's pretty sick. Mountain from Final Fantasy 1. Exactly what Final Fantasy 1 looked like, you know. Just like straight out of the game. Another Balthier and Fran. Got almost a playset. Interceptor, Shadow's Hound. 4 mana, 4/3 dog. Menace. Assassins you control have menace, and whenever you attack with one or more legendary creatures, you may pay 3. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. We got Aerith. Borderless Aerith. Aerith Gainsborough. 3 mana, 2/2, legendary creature, human cleric with lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Aerith Gainsborough. And when Aerith Gainsborough dies, you put X +1/+1 counters on each legendary creature you control, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Aerith. Oh, that's appropriate. We got Ultimate Magic Holy. 3 mana instant. Permanents you control gain indestructible until the turn. If this spell was cast from exile, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn, and you can foretell it. So this is why she would die. So she could do this. Oh, hell yeah. Foil Dovin's Veto. Shadowbringers. I don't know why they just named cards after Final Fantasy 14 expansion packs, but they did. I've been playing with this one on Arena. When I'm casting Dovin's Veto and summon Bernhilder. 2 mana, 2/1. Enchantment creature Saga Knight. A name in blood, a pact of flame. You exile the top card of your library. During any turn you put a lore counter on the saga, you may play that card. And then it has when you next cast a creature spell this turn, it gains haste in the end of turn. I've heard this card's pretty good. I haven't actually played with it myself. Our wizard token and our hero token. Wizard. I got Town Greeter, Hilgigus, Sahagin. I got Merfolk. It's a Merfolk. Fishman. Fire Magic. Foil Tidus. Eden, Steed of the Sanctum. Land Town. Borderless Snow. Play that in your snow deck. We got Fancy Alt Art Omega Foil Heartless Evolution. Got Forest from Final Fantasy 11. We've got the car, the Regalia, 4 mana, 4 vehicle, 4/4 with haste, which means it can be your commander. And whenever the Regalia attacks, reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Put that card on the battlefield tapped, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order, and it's crew 1. got fancy the Earth Crystal. Nope. Remember your own filing system. We got Lock, Treasure Hunter. 3 mana, 2/3 human rogue. Can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And when Lock attacks, each player mills a card. And if a land card was milled this way, you create a treasure token. Till end of turn, you may cast a spell from among those cards. Look at what they have to do to get a fraction of Ragavan's power. Blue Mage's Cane, 3 mana, artifact equipment with job select. Equipped creature has +2 defense, is a wizard, in addition to his other types, and has whenever this creature attacks, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery from defending player's graveyard. If you do copy it, you may cast the copy by paying 3 generic rather than paying its mana cost. And then you can equip this for 2. And this is a commander card. From the Commandy set. We got another light up the stage, not foil. We've got number Arden, the Usurper. 8 mana, 4/4 Elder Human Noble. Demons you control have Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. And his Star Scourge. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If you exile the card this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 5/5 black demon. Looking over your Magic with that help you do better. Frog. Hero. The hero became a frog. You're gonna eat that frog. White. Just limited removal. Styrian Elder. Crossroads Village. Ambrosia Whiteheart. 2 mana for a 2/2 legendary creature bird with flash, and when Ambrosia Whiteheart enters, you may turn another permanent you control to its owner's hand, and it has landfall whenever a land you control enters. Ambrosia gets +1/+0 until the turn. I really like this card. Ambrosia from Final Fantasy 16. Shambling Sith. Of course, it's from. We got from the frog token. It's Quina, Gourmet, legendary creature Q. 4 or more tokens will be created under control. Those tokens plus a 1/1 green frog are created instead. You can tap 2 and sacrifice and put a +1/+1 counter on this. World only have 2 things. Things you can eat and things you know can eat. Yeah, I would just need to know what I was looking at before the stream. I need like what I was looking at. Secret rendezvous. This is Yuffie date. This is foil. I put it in the wrong pile. We got foil Aerith Date. Hell yeah. Foil Forest. Oh, hell yeah. Foil Zaz Katzroy. 4 mana for a 3/3 human pilot from Final Fantasy 13. When Zaz enters, you may search your library for a bird or basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. When Zaz attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then double the number of +1/+1 counters on that creature. I like to call this card Ranger Captain of Nadu, because it pairs so well with Nadu. Also, I had this card in play and it was like 126, because I was in a weird board stall where my opponent kept blocking every turn and he just kept getting bigger. This card's sick. Unfortunately, Nadu isn't in standard. The thing you're supposed to grab is the Zaz's Chocobo is a card. It's a 1 mana 0/1 with landfall. Give it a +1/+1 counter, which is also a crazy card. But like you can actually Mockingbird doesn't work very well because it's legendary, but it just goes so well with Nadu, man. Oh, we got Sephiroth. 5 mana Sephiroth. When Sephiroth attacks, you may put a cell counter on target creature. Until end of turn, each modified creature you control has base power and toughness 7/5. And the reunion. You tap 3, sacrifice a modified creature, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Just imagine One Winged Angel playing in your head right now. Go play it. We got Zell from Final Fantasy VIII. 3 mana, 0/3 human monk. You may pay additional land on each of your turns. Zell gets +1 for each land you control. On the beginning of your end step, return a land you control to your hand. Zell's really good and limited. He synergizes very well with all the Chocobos. We got foil Champions from Beyond. Yo, we got a banger. I didn't have one of these before, and now I do. It's Monkey. It's Zidane. It's Ragavan. Hell yeah. Alright. Zidane Tribal is a 1 mana 2/1 monkey pirate. When it deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card, and you can dash it for 1 colorless and a red. Monkey, 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 monkey. Monkey, monkey, monkey. And now we got Foil Cipher from Final Fantasy VIII. 4 mana, 3/4 legendary creature, human knight. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until the turn. And then it has Fire Cross. When Cipher deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value 3 less in your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. We got Squall and Cipher, the buds, the good friends. They're just roommates. They just like to hang out and clash swords. Clash gunblades. We've got bird. And wizard. Bird. Resentful Revelation. Adventures in. Fight on. Samurai's Katana. Go, King of the Dwarves. Capital City. Non-foil Omega with the fancy art. Summon Anima with fancy art. Man, that art's sick. A cool looking card. Planes. This looks like a Fallout land, but it's Final Fantasy 15. Ishgard, the Holy Sea. Yuna's Whistle. 3 mana instant. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. When you reveal a creature card this way, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the mana value of that card. You got non-foil Brynhildr. Got foil Summon Magus Sisters. 5 mana, 5/5 Saga Fairy with haste. And you choose one at random. You combine powers. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Defense. Put a shield counter on target creature. You gain 3 life. Or fight. This creature fights up to 1 target creature and opponent controls. From Final Fantasy X. Yo! Foil Brainstorm. But it's Endwalker. Because they just named cards after Final Fantasy 14 expansions. Foil Brainstorm is sick, though. Now this one's like fucking worth money, but because I opened this printing, but not foil, and this is the fancy foiling, so this one's got to be worth fucking money, because the other one's worth a good amount of money. But now I have 2 of them. So I should probably sell one of them. Because I don't need 2. But will I? Bird. Hero. Bird. Dreams of Laguna. Final Fantasy 8 Classic. sequence. Syncopate anime style. So what's his face from 10? The villain. The Phantom Train. The one that gets suplexed. The one what gets suplexed. Stolen uniform. Sorceress's schemes. Ifrit. Another Ifrit. Foil summon Chocomog. Another with alt art. Another limited banger. Foil Island. Yeah, that makes sense. Got foil Moogle Merchant. Siegfried, famed swordsman. Summon Esper Valgamaranda. Valigarmonda. Good art. I should read this. Exile an instant or sorcery card from each graveyard. Add red for each lore counter on this saga. You may cast an instant or sorcery exile with this saga, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. 3/3 flying haste. Weird. We got other Sephiroth, the one that goes with 5 mana cloud. 6 mana, Sephiroth Planet's Heir, Human Avatar Soldier, 4/4 Vigilance. When Sephiroth enters, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Sephiroth. Yo. Darkness of Eternity. Foil Dark Ritual, though. Dark Ritual, though. And now we have fancy foil Joshua, Phoenix's Dominant. It's a 3 mana 3/4. When Joshua enters, you discard a human noble wizard. When Joshua enters, you discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Tap 5 mana, exile Joshua, then return to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery. And then it's Phoenix, Warden of Fire. Rising Flames. Phoenix deals 2 damage to each opponent, and then for 2 turns in a row. It's a 4/4 flying lifelink. And then Flames of Rebirth. Return any number of target creatures with total mana value 6 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile Phoenix, return it to the battlefield. Face up. Oh, it's at least a playable Magic card. And it's all the fancy things. Seconds of sleeve. Right. Wizard. Hero. Wizard Hero. I feel like Sephiroth and Cloud should be next to each other. I've decided. And Sephiroth. They don't. These 2 Sephiroths don't deserve to be near the other Sephiroth. Aerith. There's Cloud. And Cloudo. Sephiroth. Sabotender. Black Mage's Rod. Windurst Federation Center. Eject. Cloud of Darkness. Fucking a different fancy vanilla. The vanills. All the vanills. Need more fangs. Another Renona. Renoa. We've got anime crystal fragments. Say 1 mana. Artifact equipment for equip 1 and equip creature gets +1/+1. And then you can tap 7, exile this equipment, then return to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only the sorcery, and it flips as Summon Alexander. 1 and 2 are prevent all damage that we've dealt to creatures you control this turn, and then 3 is tap all creatures your opponents control. It's a 4/3 with flying. Alexander doesn't really look like he has flying. I'm gonna be real. Not really. Like he's not like walking around either, but flying. Foil Swamp. Ooh, Foil Genova. Another card that just fucking kills you unlimited. 4 mana, 1/5 legendary creature alien. Beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to Genova's power on up to one other target creature. That creature becomes a mutant in addition to its other types. Whenever a mutant you control dies during your turn, you draw cards equal to its power. Summon Primal Odin. 6 mana, Saga Knight, 5/3. Destroy target creature an opponent controls. This creature gains. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. And its last step is draw 2 cards. Each player loses 2 life. We've got other Genova. The same pack. I do like this art. Got Lightning. Army of 1. 3/2, 3 mana, 1 red white. For a legendary creature, human soldier, first strike, trample, lifelink, with stagger. Whenever lightning deals combat damage to a player until your next turn, if a source would deal damage to that player or permanent that player controls deals double that damage instead. Moment of Truth, hero. Foil Golbez, clad in darkness, as Sir Conrad. Yeah, it's foil. And foil the water crystal. Last pack. Wizard. Bird. Woodbird. Bird token. Scorpion Sentinel. 002 Tort, your first boss from Final Fantasy VII. Barret, be careful. Attack while its tail's up. It's going to counterattack with its laser. That's the bad translation. That makes you attack when you're not supposed to attack. Call the Mountain Chocobo. Goral Sword. Hey, we got Foil Saz's Chocobo. 1 mana for a 0/1 bird with landfall. Whenever land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. The chick has no might trigger ripples like destiny across Cocoon and cause a hurricane in Eden. Either that or Saz just hasn't thought of one yet. That flavor text is from the codex in that game. Because I remember reading that. It's Garland, Knight of Corneria. A 3/2 2-mana human knight that whenever you cast a non-creature spell, use for real one, and you can tap 7, 3 generic, 2 black, 2 red, and return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield transformed as Chaos. The Endless, a 5/5 flyer, and when it dies, you put it on the bottom of its owner's library. Chaos Reigns. Fancy art summon Venrare. That art's sick. That art's so good. Summon Esperamu. Mountain. Final Fantasy VI Mountain. Ooh, foil starting town. Hell yeah. This card's so good. It's a land town. It enters tapped unless it's your first, second, or third turn of the game. You tap it to add a colorless, and you can tap 1, pay a life, and add 1 mana of any color. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. Non-foil Zephyr. Cyan Vengeful Samurai, a 7 mana 3/3 human samurai that costs 1 for each creature card in your graveyard with double strike. And whenever 1 more creature to leave your graveyard, you put a +1/+1 counter on Cyan. Fuck yes. It's not the cloud I really wanted, but it's still fucking sick. It's the other cloud, 5 mana cloud, the commander cloud, 4/4 haste. When cloud enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to it. Whenever cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then, if cloud is power 7 or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. Because I kind of want to build this commander deck. So that's sick. Two more. Dovin's Veto, Shadowbringers. Not attracts Sephiroth, so we whiffed on that. And our last card is also kind of a whiff. It is Jador, Aristocratic Capital. But we got Surge foils for Cloud and Sephiroth and Joshua, so you know. And Ragavan, so I'll take it. So there's so it's regular other Cloud, other Cloud, and Atraxa Sephiroth that I didn't get. I like the two cards that I want, because Starting Time was also a big one on my list. Things I wanted to have, because this is a playable Magic card in many decks. Yeah, so all the vanills. All the vanills. You know? It's just funny. Didn't get more fangs. Alright. Oh. Hell yeah. Love to not have had to pay full price for this box. That was sick. Like my greatest victory in Magic was winning this. I think I will. I think that is the end of this stream. No. I think. Let me see where we're at. Yeah. Yeah, we're done. Anyway. Peace.